I got 2 offers in one day. Sup bro, it's Luke. So easily the most asked question on this channel has been, hey Luke, how did you get your first job and how did you break into the tech industry? So today we're gonna go over exactly that. So if you watch my video on replacing gaming with coding, you know that I got enrolled into a university here in Helsinki to study computer science. Now what I didn't tell you in that video is how I got my first internship and how that internship led to my full-time job offer as a full-stack engineer. So let's go back in time a little bit to my freshman year in university. Now you would think that I was grinding lead code, making own projects, studying 24/7, but actually that's not at all what happened. For the first 3 months of university, I was literally an alcoholic, bro. I hadn't been to many parties before university, and now that I've finally got into university and had the chance to party as much as I wanted, I took advantage of that. Every other day I was literally drunk or hungover and couldn't get anything done. Now of course by doing this, my grades were suffering alongside with my mental health and my body. I was waking up at around 4 p.m. and life just wasn't going too good for me. I had been given an opportunity, but I wasn't taking advantage of it. And you know, the craziest part of all this was that I thought that this was completely normal. It was part of the student life. Now also, I was really enjoying the attention I got from girls at these parties as well. I got lost in the sauce, bro. Now thankfully, one day things really took a turn for me. Thank you, bro. Trust me, I'm not an alcoholic anymore. Anyways, after waking up in the afternoon and throwing up for the third time, I really thought to myself like, what the f are you doing, bro? Where is your life going? And you know, I've always been the type to go all in on something I want to do. So at that point, I completely cut out drinking, and trust me, I don't drink often. Also, the Christmas holidays were coming up and I had 1 month out of school. At this point, I really had to think about what I want to do next summer, and it was either go back to the construction site or get an internship. So when the Christmas holiday finally started, I was coding 12 hours a day non-stop. I had only one goal for that whole holiday, and that was to get an internship. This is when I was learning full stack development. I'll link the course here so you can go check it out yourself. It's completely free, by the way. But basically for the entire Christmas holiday, I just woke up, drink a Monster, coded, and maybe hit the gym on Sundays. At this point I was still living at my parents' house, so I was literally in my mom's basement coding 12 hours a day. I made a few pretty shitty projects, and now it was time to build my resume. I'll slap my first resume somewhere here so you can see, but it was terrible, bro. I actually made one more extra project that's not included in this resume, but I couldn't find a picture of an updated one. After building my shitty resume, now it was time to apply to as many jobs as possible. And trust me when I say this, I applied to every single job I could find. Now keep in mind, I live here in Finland, so there's not too many software engineering internships. In total, I applied to over 60 positions and heard back from 2 of them. Now lucky me, these 2 that I heard back from were amazing companies that I really wanted to work for. Now you might say that I was lucky in getting these 2 interviews, and that's fair, but let's think about what is luck. If you do something over and over and over again, you increase the probability of your desired outcome happening. After a certain point, it's just probabilities. So if you have some decent projects in your resume that you're proud of, I think you should just start applying. Don't try to make your resume perfect. Don't try to make the perfect project. Just start applying. You can improve your resume and your projects as you go. After I landed my first 2 interviews, it was time to interview prep. Now again, lucky me, I live in the EU, we don't really do lead code and stuff here. So I knew that my interviews would mostly consist of systems design questions. I had been given the chance to prove myself and I wanted to destroy my competition. So I studied and studied and studied. Finally, the interviews come around and I was scared as the first 2 interviews were just basically me chatting up with the recruiters from both firms. After that, there were technical rounds and the other company gave me a coding assignment as well. Actually, here's a funny story. During one of the technical rounds, I actually disconnected from the Google Meet. My Wi-Fi went completely out and I joined back on my phone, and on my phone I was logged into my personal Gmail that has like a crazy name. It doesn't have anything to do with my real name. So when I tried to join back, they were like, who the f is this guy? But thankfully they let me back in and we continued on with the interview. All in all, both of the interviews went pretty well and I was fairly certain that I would get at least one offer. By the way, if you're invited to an interview, don't stress too much about your background. The interview is the place where you can prove yourself. Now what happens next is crazy. So I get a call back from the recruiter from the other firm and they tell me that they want to give me an offer. Let me tell you, this was one of the happiest moments ever in my life. I actually did the hard work and I got the result that I wanted. So during the phone call, the recruiter asked me if I want to accept their offer. And I'm like, hell yes, I want to accept their offer. I don't have anything else lined up for me, so I accept. Now I emailed back to the other firm telling them that I had just accepted the offer from this other place. And to my surprise, the hiring manager from the other firm calls me and tells me, hey, we would also like to extend you an offer. Bro, I was going crazy at this point. I had been rejected from almost every interview. Somehow I landed 2 interviews and I got 2 offers in one day. This moment was definitely my happiest moment in 2022. But now I was kind of because I wanted to work for the second company more than the first one. But I had already accepted the offer from the first company. Now, whatever you do, don't do what I did. So I accept the offer from the second company also. So now I had accepted 2 offers, but obviously I can only work one. And me being a complete dumbass, instead of calling the first place back and saying like, hey, I'm not actually coming, like take someone else, I wait 3 days before I had signed the second place's contract to inform the first place that, hey, I'm not coming. Now at this point, the first company had already let every other candidate know that they found their guy and they're no longer hiring them. But then there's me emailing them back saying like, hey, actually, I'm not coming after all. I accepted this other offer. I think it's pretty safe to say that I'm blacklisted from that first company now. So that's the story how I landed my first internship. But how did I get my full-time offer then? Well, if you're an intern, nobody expects anything from you. So as long as you do something right, you're already exceeding expectations. And that's exactly what I did. During the whole summer, I was exceeding expectations and did super well in the internship. But at the end of my internship, the company had a hiring freeze on and they couldn't hire me. I was pretty sad about that, but thankfully I got another internship. During that second internship, my old manager emails me and says, hey Luke, we have these positions open. If you're interested, let us know. From there, I interview with 2 different teams and get a position from one of them. Now my old teammates were telling these hiring managers that they should hire me, and that really helped me. But this just goes to show you the power of internships. So if you're a CS student, please, I beg you, get an internship. You will not regret it. It's easier to get an internship than it is to get a full-time job, but it's also easy to go from an intern to full-time engineer. So yeah, that's basically the story how I went from a CS student to an intern after my freshman year to a full-time engineer after my second year of university. By the way, I still haven't graduated university. I'm technically still a student. I'm enrolled into the university. So if you want to see some content from university, computer science life, all this stuff, let me know in the comments. Now, if you liked the video, drop a like for the algorithm. If you didn't, that's fine. Let me know why you didn't like it and how I could improve the next time. Also, in the description is our Discord server. I'm super active there. Come say hi. And as always, thanks for watching, bro. Peace!